Welcome to K Vision TV. My name is Ukash and I'm your host. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I present to you a very special guest. When we had news of emerging political aspirants of different seats, and here we go this week, we got another one bidding for the highest seat of the district. His name is Chan, popularly known as Chan. He'll introduce himself fully, and we know what triggered his bid to aspire as the chairperson LC5 Kasese district. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the show. You're welcome, boss.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chan, to be precise, news came around 2 days ago about your official announcement contesting the highest seat of the district.
Yes.
Before we can go to what triggered you, who is Chan?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kash, for coming for this interview. I appreciate it, and I appreciate every time I see media people around me. I'm quite happy because I know I'm going to be able to disseminate the information or the message that I have for my people. Briefly, Chan, my name is Chan Geoffrey Masereka, popularly known as Chan, but I'm also the son of Mr. and Mrs. Mutiba Masereka. Now, before I go to myself, it's important that I tell you who my parents are, so that you get to know what kind of family I come from, my background, my values, and culture. My father, Mutiba Masereka, is a retired educationalist, but he also worked in the Health Service Commission as a commissioner. He went to school in Kasese, then went to Chikezi College, Makerere. I did a master's, then he started lecturing in Makerere. Now, other than lecturing, he was also the warden for University Hall. In about 81, I was a toddler. The community in Kasese, they were looking for people who are educated and from Kasese who can come and start up a teacher's college. So his selflessness forced him to abandon the lecturing job in Makerere University to come and start a primary teacher's college in a very remote area called Wera. I'm proud of that because that background and the environment that we came to, which is similar to where my grandparents and all my other relatives stay, has shaped me into who I am. So I went to Wera Demonstration School in Kasese, Wera, from P1 to P7. I went to St. Leo's College, to St. Peter's. A-level I was in Bugema Adventist Secondary School, from where I made it to Makerere University. I studied law, Bachelor of Laws. I studied a master's program in laws. I'm yet to graduate, but also I went to Kozi University for an MBA. I'm a practicing advocate. I started my practice briefly with Bali Kudembe in Kampala. Then I joined the public defender as a volunteer, but over the years I grew in ranks until I was head litigation. Now, public defender is an organization which handles pro bono cases. The less privileged, you identify them, help them in court, outreach programs, and we have so many law firms around the country which are affiliated to it. So that experience and heading a team of about 30 lawyers helped me understand the needs of the poor man and what justice means to them and what development means to them, because we did a lot of outreach programs. So I came to Kasese in 2008, 2009, started law firm. It was a one-room law firm. Gradually it grew because I handled so many cases after that, and I'm proud to say that I'm a successful lawyer at that. Then also, because of my track record, I happen to work for Klembe Investments Limited, which is a rural electrification company, as their company secretary, and I've done that for 8 years. I also worked for the district as a lawyer on retainer. So every time they had cases, I would handle all their cases. Then when they recognized the kingdom, the Rwenzori kingdom, I was appointed a minister. I think our legal officer in the office of the Prime Minister. But later, I became the Attorney General, a position I think I held for about 3 or 4 years before I went for actually the Masters in Business Administration. Yes, so briefly, I'm also a very humble person. I'm a Christian, down to earth, and maybe what I forgot about me, I also worked in the office of the national chairman. You know who that is, the president of this country. And 2016, I was the overall supervisor for the Rwenzori region under vote protection. So I ensured that the vote for the president is intact, safe, and well delivered.
Intact, safe, and well delivered.
Yes.
Mr. Masereka Chan's CV is quite well decorated, especially in the academic perspective. We've heard about his background, we've heard about his work experience. Seems well decorated. Now off we go. The poster on social media. Yesterday, but one there were announcements that you're coming as LC5 chairperson contestant. What triggered you to come and bid for the highest office in the district?
Yes, thank you, Akash. I'm born a leader, and in various offices or engagements I've been involved in, specifically leadership. Now, for the time I've been in Kasese, as a person who deals with people of all races, all degree, of all creed, people from all over Kasese, they have common problems, and mostly it's poverty and the education system, which is a bit low when you come to secondary. So I did a bit of research, and I wanted to understand why is poverty, why are people in Kasese actually poor? Yet when I look at Kasese, every time I invite my friends and they come to Kasese, they look at Kasese as gold. I think Kasese is the most beautiful district given what God gave us. Now, in trying to find out why people are poor despite the riches we have with natural resources, I found out that the main problem that we have in Kasese is leadership. We have a very, very big leadership gap. And over the years, I've watched leaders elected, but they seem not to tackle the problem of the people. Now, the leadership gap is what triggered me to vie for this position in a bid to help work together with the people to turn Kasese around so that we can all live and be proud of the Kasese that we all want. So for me, it's about leadership gap and the fact that I have the ability and character to try and bridge it so that we can all live in the Kasese that we want.
The Kasese that we want. If I chip in, Mr. Chan, there are two key issues that have been always running from ear to ear about the leadership of Kasese, being corruption. Corruption in two perspectives. Selling jobs at the district, because everyone seems to has a will to do anything to earn a job at the district. That's one. Sometimes they sell them or they pay for them, the jobs at the district. And two, contracts. Sometimes we get some contractors give us work, final piece of work below standards. because at the end of the day, they need to give a kickback to those ones awarding them contracts. And I think that one is around your jurisdiction as a chairperson LC5 when you get to the district. Your comrades call you a land friend. I want to call you a land leader. As a land leader when you're in office, chairperson LC5, how will you curb that as a lawyer?
Well, as again, it still goes to one's character and one's values and principles and the way you are brought up. And as I told earlier, I believe in I believe in unity, I believe in development, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to work. And I also believe in equality, and I believe that even the less privileged shouldn't be rode on just because they're less privileged. So I've heard of those allegations. The fact is I don't work at the district, so I wouldn't have facts of hand to cite maybe examples of what I've heard. But I've heard that jobs, of course, are sold at the district. Without money, you can't get a job, despite the fact that you qualify for the job. Now me, when I'm elected, those tendencies should end even before I assume office. Because one, this is our district, the district where we cherish so much. There's so many people who have gone to school to qualify. You see, every time you go to school and study, you're looking at getting a job. Now, if they advertise for a job and you qualify and you're shortlisted, why do you have to pay money to get that job? So for me, tendencies of corruption, buying jobs, that will never happen. It will never and must. I'll definitely ensure that there's a mechanism which is like counterintelligence to find out if those tendencies are happening. Of course, you should have hotlines, and we should get all government institutions like the IGG involved in investigating so that you get to the bottom of this, so that someone is proud that if I applied for a job at the district, then it's merit. Yes. Otherwise, a tendency of buying into getting a job, you don't know what you're getting. You might get the worst of employees just because they have more money than others, and you leave out the most genuine people who would be fit for those jobs. In the other issue of contractors, growing up here, of course, there were many companies that benefited from tenders, and it was quite even then, back in the day, because there are many contracts or subcontracts. So one, it would uplift so many companies because they were able to bid and actually get the jobs, and because they knew there were other similar companies that do the work, they only do shady work. Now this issue of having the same contractors having tenders is what has increased the tendency of corruption.
Sure.
Because they know if I have to give you a feedback, rather a kickback, probably half of the money to do the job is going back to you. They know I get the money to finish the job. Secondly, even if I did shoddy work, because I've given a kickback, it doesn't matter. Your inspectors will still come and find the work good. But within the year, there's no work. And at the end of the day, government, the money, the grants that have come from government or local revenue collection suffer.
Okay, before we sum up our conversation,
Yes.
if you became LC5 today, what will you start on triggering so that you can regain the pride of the district? In a conversation wholesomely, I've heard about you talking about the poverty in Kasese, poor people. You've worked with defenders, what? Did I pick
Public
you?
defenders.
Public defenders.
Yes.
And you got to know the needs of the poor people. Muntu wawansi
Yes.
adjacent.
Yes.
So, in case you became LC5 today, what will you start with?
First of all, for the poor people, to get out of poverty, it's a combination of many things, and you need effort, a wholesome effort. And that starts with having quality counselors who will go to the people and find out the real issues. They bring them to the district, they are debated, and you get council resolutions which will address the problems of the people. But also, I know of justice centers that offer free legal services, and I know they are quite limited. So first of all, I would work with justice centers or encourage other pro bono legal service providers into the district so that we can have centers in these different areas where there are vulnerable people, so that they're able to offer free legal services for the people who need them most. Also, we need to do a SWOT or self-assessment about the different communities in Kasese. For instance, people at the lakeside, how come they never get implements from Operation Wealth Creation? Was the program meant for only the people who are cultivators? But even the cultivators, how come the extension workers at the district never follow up on what has been given? You don't know if the seed is right, you don't know if it's growing right, you don't know if the type of soil is right, you don't know if pesticides are being used or manure is needed. So I think we need all these programs that come from government. Because of our soils, we have fresh fruit from Monday to Monday, January to December. But how do you benefit? Despite that, or prolong or improve on the fruit, we don't have shelters along this road from Ugandan to Kasese. Yet we have so many tourists who come. The rivers and tourism, we can still use these rivers to help in irrigation. And it's very easy. As a district, we can mobilize for pumps so that they can run. The pipes can run down so that we can help people in their gardens. Then for tourism, we shall involve or encourage the youth, sensitize them so they can get involved in tourism projects around the parks to make money for themselves. Yes. Now, probably in summary.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chan.
Yes.
Before we sum up our conversation, I'd really love you to have a word to your viewer and our viewer,
yes,
and your voter out there.
Yes.
A reason why you think they should vote you, and ask for their vote, probably because this is an opportunity for a campaign. No wonder your campaigns are going to be media campaigns.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Okash. Dear viewers who are watching us right now, as I told you before, my name is Chan, and I'm in the race. I've declared my intent to contest for the post of district chairperson. My humble plea to you all viewers is to support me in this bid. I'm quite a different leader. I'm not a leader who just wants an office. I want a leader who wants to preach development, who wants to help the most vulnerable and the richest so that we can stay and achieve the Kasese that we want. It won't be a simple task, but I know with a great team of councillors and the support that I have and the lobbying, the lobbying principles, all of the lobbying power that I have, given the networks that I have, it will be much easier for me to be able to tap into opportunities which I come across each and every day. So support me in this bid, irrespective of who I am. Let's try and support leaders that are going to create the change that we need, because we are the change agents. This is the time to start living the dream of the president of this country. He talks about liberation, he talks about development, he talks about prosperity for all. Let's forget people who want offices. Let's vote for people who will actually cause the change.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chan. It's been a really great conversation with the aspirant chairperson LC5, Mr. Chan Masereka. I'd really love to shake hands if it was not for COVID, only that the regulations now do not free us to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's K-Vision TV on Facebook, K-Vision TV on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel if you're new. Smash a like on this video and click on the notification button so that you should never miss any of our uploads. K-Vision TV, we are independent and impartial. Good evening.